How's it going, everybody? My name's Chris Tendo. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Last time, we began doing all the side quests that there was to do in Zora's Domain, helping out anybody that we could. Small, big, man, woman, no matter how dangerous the task was. Jeez, I can't believe we actually fought a blue freaking... whatever. Okay, today we are going to finish off the side quests with the last one or two that we have, and then I say we're going to go finish off the shrines in the Lanayru region. Today, we're going to want to talk to this fellow, Jahido. Link, eh? What's wrong? Are you unable to find all the stone monuments? I can perhaps tell you the location of the stone monument you have yet to investigate. Oh, right, I'm stupid. Okay, so I had a failed recording last time where this guy basically told us that there are 10 stone monuments that need to be recovered, the information recovered from around the region. He then tells us that some stuff about, King Dorphan made them, blah, blah, blah. Can you go find them? If there's any treasure, you can keep it. I really hated last recording session because it just... so much stuff happened, but right here, Zora Stone Monument. After hearing Jido's request, you agreed to search for the stone monuments in the surrounding Zora's Domain. Not counting the monument in Zora's Domain, there are 10 in total. I'm just going to cut between each stone monument, showing you a brief aerial view of where you can find it, how to get there. It's just going to be a short little compilation. So, I'll see you all on monument number 1. Since you can only do this side quest after you beat the Divine Beast's boss, teleporting to and from the Divine Beast is going to be a very helpful tip in getting all these things. All of these monuments, I mean, not things. What am I talking about? I'm a professional here. What you're going to want to do is teleport from the Divine Beast and go due north. You may remember this is where the Zora started shooting at us with those shock arrows. Be very careful when falling down, but right down here, monument number 1. History of the Zora, Part 1. The Eternal Zora's Domain is told by King Dorphan. The rains have blessed Lanayru since the ancient times with an abundance of pure, clean water. Seeking a bounty of such water, the Zora gathered there. Thus, as the legends go, the domain was born 10,000 years ago. The land was so rich in ore and so unique form of stone, a unique form of stone masonry was developed to create our new home. The domain is one giant sculpture, a feat of architecture that has drawn admirers the world over. Our great domain will ever stand as a hallmark to the esteemed artist who made it, an eternal symbol of Zora pride. So now we can, oh jeez! So now we understand the reason why all the Zoras kind of came here so many years ago. Beautiful stones, I can definitely tell, made the area. So it's just a little brief history on the Zoras, nothing you didn't already know. I'm rambling at this point, so I'll see you all at area number 2. Yet again, going due north of the Divine Beast, we are going to just fall directly down. Ow, breaking our knees. He's right up there. We're going to fall directly down the cliff to area number 2. Now, I recommend doing this at night. I should have stated this in the beginning. All of the monuments are going to be lit up with these torches, making them way easier to see at night. Let's examine number 2. History of the Zora, Part 2. A Reservoir of Hope as told by King Dorphan. Once every 100 years, the Lanayru region experiences unusually heavy rainfall. The Zora River flooded every time. The tides damage not only our domain, but our people, washing away poor souls and causing great suffering and disarray. The Zora king at the time, after seeking aid from the King of Hyrule, rode out to see what could be done. By joining the architectural genius of the Zora and Hyrule's technological prowess, East Reservoir Lake was swiftly built. Thanks to this fruitful partnership, Hyrule was no longer plagued by these devastating floods. In gratitude, the Zora King promised the King of Hyrule to manage the reservoir level and protect all Hyrule from floods. I can't read today, I swear. Each Zora King since has kept that oath spanning 10,000 years. That is why the reservoir signifies our bond with Hyrule. A little brief history in the relationship between the Hylians and the Zoras. Now we know why they were at peace with each other at one point and really respected each other, I guess. Alright, I'll see you all at location number 3. Yet again, falling due north of the Divine Beast, we're going to want to go right down here in this little alcove. It's directly southwest of the Great Zora Bridge, northeastern of the Divine Beast, Little's Crossing directly north. You'll see it right down here, especially at night, because, ta-da, it's glowing. Float right on down. Let's see what part 3 has to say. History of the Zora, Part 3, Miracle of the White Scale, as told by King Dorephan. Our scholars say that in the distant past, Zora's domain had a king with no special talent. What he lacked in skill with a blade, he made up for in love for his people, and especially love for his queen. One day, news reached that the king of a horde of monsters gathering in Zobobobo Highlands. The king steeled himself for war to protect his people. But the queen knew how ill-suited he was for the task. Worried for his life, she wove one of her own scales into his armor, hoping that her love would protect him in battle. It seemed for a time that the tide of battle favored the Zora, and all that would make it and that all would make it home safely. But the cunning Lizalfos general saw the opening and seized it, driving the king's forces into a corner. Just when the general's sword was ready to crash down upon the king, a miracle took place. And a radiant sunbeam reflected from the scale in his armor, blinding the Lizalfos, stopping the death blow from falling. This was the chance the king needed to rally his forces and turn the tide, taking down the general and securing victory. This came to be known as the Miracle of the White Scale, and the only female Zoras possess. It was this miracle that began the tradition of Zora princesses crafting armor for their future husbands. Let's equip our armor real quick and actually take a little look at it. If you look directly in the middle of our armor, you can see a little pendant. Perhaps that could be the white scale that they were talking about when Mipha made this armor for us. Crazy. Well, whether it is or it isn't, that's still a beautiful tale of a lucky general who had a really, really loving wife. All right, I will see you all at location number 4. This one is perhaps the easiest out of all the locations. It is going to be directly underneath Ludo's Crossing to the south by just a teeny bit. You could literally jump off of the Divine Beast right up there, fall on down, and it's going to be right here underneath a tiny waterfall. A lot of frogs down here too if you want them. You know, it'd be a good idea to grab some. Yoink. Yoink. One more. Mother frog. Come here. And I believe one. Oh my god. All right, we don't need that one. He died. All right, location number 4. Let's see what it has to say. History of the Zora, Part 4, the Light Scale Trident, as told by King Dorephan. The queen and I were blessed with a daughter as lovely as a jewel. We named our princess Mipha. To celebrate her birth, the smithy Dento presented Mipha with a gift, a mighty spear called the Light Scale Trident. Mipha grew into a bright girl and soon reached the age of receiving lessons from a royal family's order of knights. The whole of the royal guard adored her, especially Sergeant Sagan, who loved her as if he were her own kin. Under Sagan's instructions, Mipha honed her skills, and her radiance grew along with her skill with the Light Scale Trident. As a champion, Mipha made her people proud. However, once the Great Calamity struck, she was never to return. All of the Zora's domain fell into misery. The merest thought of the princess was enough to overcome anybody with tears. As a way of offering her soul repose, they tried to send the Light Scale Trident drifting down the Zora River. But when they did, the trident began to glow, and Mipha's voice rang loud and clear for all the Zora to hear. The Light Scale Trident and I were once one. Abandon your grief and now I'm gonna try that one again. The Light Scale Trident and I are one. Abandon your grief and know joy once again. Do not cry, just remember. And so, keeping to her request, on the day of the Great Calamity, the day that Mipha passed away from this world, the Zora venerate? I never get that word right. The Zora venerate the Light Scale Trident and remember their brave princess. Such is the origin of the Champions Festival. That is always one that hits a little close to home for me. A little side tangent before we make our way to number 5. This one always struck a chord with me because it teaches that grieving is never the best option long term. I lost somebody very close to me very recently, and just reading this again, it always has to put you back in the mindset of They wouldn't want you to grieve for their loss. They only want you to be as happy as you can be. While grieving is healthy, long term, it's nothing but badness. I hope that you can take this lesson to heart, as I know I have. It really does help, you know? Alright, on our way to location number 5. Now for once, we're actually gonna go southwest of the Divine Beast. We went north pretty much every other time, but we go directly south to the little forest thing right over here, the little woody patch. Directly underneath it is going to be area number 5. Now the Divine Beast is directly up there underneath the laser. It's kind of hard to miss this one. Alright, let's see what it has to say. History of the Zora, Part 5. The Sage Princess Ruto, as told by King Dorephan. Long, long ago, in a past more distant than even the Great Calamity or the creation of the Divine Beast Varuda, there was a Zora princess named Ruto. We know that she was an attendant to the Zora patron deity, and that she was a fair and lively girl, beloved to all. Around the same time, an evil man designs on ruling the world appeared, bringing disaster upon Zora's domain. It is said that Ruto then awoke as a sage, facing this foe alongside the Princess of Hyrule and the hero of legend. Her achievements are remembered not only by the Zora, they are also forever etched in the histories of Hyrule. The Divine Beast Varuda, built ages later to face off against Calamity Ganon, was named in honor of Ruto. That the Zora Princess, my sweet daughter Mipha, was chosen to pilot Ruto and is surely the work of fate. Well, I can't read today. I am so sorry, everybody. So obviously this one is referencing Princess Ruto of Ocarina of Time. I really do like that they're kind of tying all these timelines together. And it's crazy to me that, like, we're at a point where we still have, like, ancient technology, but we're still thousands and thousands of years in the future from the other games. This is a fascinating series. Alrighty, on our way to location number 6. Okay, location number 6 is a little trickier to find. It is going to be right next to Rutala Dam, so if you just go from the Divine Beast over the Ruto Mountains, directly east, you shall find this little alcove right down here. Past the Electric Wizrobe, and you're almost there. History of the Zora, Part 6, Divine Beast Varuda, as told by King Dorephan. When the Divine Beast Varuda was first discovered at Zora's domain, my daughter Mipha hurried to see it. Those present that day say they saw an unusual sparkle of excitement in Mipha's normally calm eyes as she beheld Ruta. The princess spoke of the Divine Beast, as she was a friend of and was overjoyed when she was chosen to pilot Ruta. I thought nothing of it at the time, but given the events that followed, I now regret allowing this to happen. I've spent many long years consumed by guilt. My dearest wish is that her soul will know peace. I pray for it every day. Now this one, there's no way that he could have known. I'm gonna give Dorephan a pass. There's no way that a father could have known, and he obviously cares for Mipha. Everybody in the Zora's domain does. Even Link cares about Mipha, possibly even the most. All right, on our way to location number, what is this, 7 now? Yeah, location number 7. Location number 7, fairly straightforward. From the, guess what, Divine Beast, you're gonna go right next to Ruto Lake in this little pond. Basically, in the little pathway that looks like a curvy, drunken W, you're gonna fly directly down to it, and you should see those beautiful 2 torches lit up. Oh, this one's a little messed up. Hit of the parts when the who the high as by King Do. All right, so this one there was a blah blah blah. Ploymus Mountain drove the beast back and report the poise of the do in the Zora helm won in this fight. I know earth of the ruins of the lake. So this would have told us the location of the Zora helm. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit because I really wanted to get that helmet before we did the Divine Beast, and you do the side quest after the Divine Beast. So let's just say Link got a little lucky. Time has taken its toll on this. Well, we still got the reward, and I believe this is the treasure that Jachito, I think his name was talking about. So we got lucky there. All right, location number 8. We're almost done. Now, location number 8 is way simpler. If you go directly west from the Divine Beast, right next to that stupid Wizrobe, and just before, if you're going from the Divine Beast, just before location number 6, it's gonna be right there in the middle, right here on the map, directly in the heart of the Ruta Mountains, before the Rutala Dam, and just above Ludo's Crossing. History of the Zora, Addendum 1, King Dorephan stands his ground. Around 100 years after King Dorephan ascended to the throne, a stray guardian crossed upon the Zoranian into our domain. The guardian seemed unstoppable. Our best soldiers' spears barely left a scratch on its metal hull. It was then that our King Dorephan, without a thought for his own safety, came out to face the guardian himself. With supernatural strength, he lifted the guardian and hurled it into the ravine. The impact of the fall left the guardian into pieces, and he was never trouble another Zora ever again. The citizens celebrated the king's valor. From then on, their trust and respect for him grew beyond compare. You can still see the scar he earned that day on his forehead, a token of his triumph. Huh. Oh crap, all right, I say that before I die, let's go check out this scar. Let's see if this is actually a true story. Oh yeah, he definitely has that scar on his forehead still, all right. Unless that's light reflecting off of him in a very weird manner, but, you know, Now I'm gonna stop looking at you with a high-powered camera and go to Addendum 2 or Location 9. Now, Location 9 is a bit different. You're actually I recommend going to talk to King Dorephan because you're gonna need to go up to, I'm on the wrong lake, but it's the only lake that I can manage to get to. You're gonna wanna go to the Mikau Lake and Lulu Lake, and it's gonna be right over here near Ploymus Mountain. The lake I went up, or the river I went up, was right underneath Toto Lake. I believe that's where we even got the Zora Helm. But when you get up the first set of waterfalls, then you can start making your way across. Yeah, climb upward. This one's a bit more of a trek to get to. 2, 3. Or you could not be an idiot like I am and go across that bridge I totally didn't even realize was there. Oh, that's fun. All right, keep going, keep going. And after you made it up the, I believe, 3rd waterfall, right before you get to the very, very top where the Lionel would be, here, next to the boar, hey, Mr. Buddy, is the 2nd addendum. History of the Zora, Addendum 2. The Prince Sidon's Great Escape. There was once a giant octrock in Hitano Bay, large as a mountain, which terrorized the village fishers. Hearing of their distress, Prince Sidon went forth to personally eliminate the offending octorok. But this octorok was a tricky beast. After the prince dodged one of those stones it spat, it inhaled him whole. Such had been the fate of many strong warriors who went to slay the octorok. Not one had come back alive. Just as it seemed Prince Sidon would be counted among them, the giant octorok twisted in pain. The tip of the silver scale spear pierced the octorok's stomach from within, revealing it as the source of the beast's agony. Incredibly, Prince Sidon has fought his way out by stabbing his spear over and over into the monster's stomach. Unable to bear the pain, the octorok coughed up the prince and scrambled to escape. Ever since, the fishers of Hitano Bay have passed down his heroic tale, the prince who slew the fell octorok. That is some cool backstory on Prince Sidon. He's not just a lovable oaf, he's also a badass warrior. And I love him for it. Alright, on our way to the last location, location number 10. And just overlooking Zoro's domain, right here on the map, you can talk to Jahito to get a hint for this one, but I really didn't need it because I've done the side quest before, is the wonderful location number 10. Memory of a gifted stonemason. What an honor it was to receive a personal request from King Dorephan to craft his historical stone monument. I did not realize how much content he'd give me, though. It certainly exceeded the line limits of a single monument. I suppose I could have just shortened the text, but it felt wrong to tamper with our great king's words. Thankfully, I was able to split it all between several monuments to ensure that every word was preserved. I have always prided myself on the ability to think outside the box. I'm so very adaptable and humble as well. All right, buddy. While I was at it, I thought, why not add 2 of my own? And so I created one for King Dorephan and one for Prince Sidon. Blah. True, this is outside the scope of my commission, but I believe their triumphs deserve as much. But why stop at that? Why indeed, my achievement surely deserves remembrance too. That is how a commission of 1 became 10. Blah. Of course, having increased the number of monuments, I had to find places for them all. That proved difficult. Still, it is worth it. So long as I remember to sign these monuments, my name will be remembered forever, as it should be. Who signed it? What's your name? You didn't sign it, where'd it go? So, with all 10 monuments found, 2 addendums, 7 monuments, and 1 for the main guy, who actually carved them all, we're gonna head back to Jajito. And I'm not gonna bother cutting the footage because he's literally right down here. Whee! And almost there. Oh, thank God, we made it. Link, it would seem you checked all the stone monuments for me. Now then, please tell me what was written on them. And after a lengthy side quest, the history, culture, folklore, and various heroic acts of the proud Zora people. It's all here. Eureka! Thanks to you, I've compiled the precious information from those stone monuments. Link, thank you for taking on such an arduous task. Please allow me to reward you. And he will give us a diamond. I'm a little mad because do this lengthy side quest that had us going all around the region, or collect 10 stones. Same reward. Whatever. I say, before we leave the domain for good, let's talk to Prince Sidon and see what he has to say. Link, I must thank you. You somehow overcame the objections of the old geezers in our council, all to help save our home. Yes, you are a treasure of a Hylian. Taking time out of your journey to come to our rain and monster-ridden home. And here you attracted those orbs with shock arrows, freed Ruta, and released my sister from her lingering regret. Link, I simply can't thank you enough, especially for following me to the end. Pushy and unreasonable as I am. Zora's domain would still be in peril if not for you. You're welcome anytime, and we are ever at your service. Have I mentioned how incredible you are and how thankful I am? Because you are, and I am. Yes, you are the greatest of Hylians and my most treasured friend of all time. And with that, that's a perfect note to end it on. Today, we completed the last of the Zora side quests. The reasonable Zora side quests. There's one I'm choosing not to do just because it's boring and you don't get a good reward for it. But we've saved the Zoras, helped out everybody that we could. We helped get the Zora's history back and saved our beloved Mipha. Next time, we're gonna finish off the Lanayru region and head west to the Gerudo Desert. That's right. In about 10 episodes time, I presume, we'll be all the way to the desert. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you did. This was a lengthy one. I know. I apologize. But, as always, have a good one, everybody. Please take it easy.